everyone, welcome to the James Kennedy Public Library's program on Knights. In the normal course of the world, we would have had a program on knight training for kids, and we'd have had bubble jousting and do some fun things, but we're doing this virtually and we'll be switching things up a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about knights. Most people are familiar with the European knights in England and Scotland, and from the Middle Ages, which were in the 13 to 1500s, were kind of when knights were popular. And there were two ways that people could become a knight. The first was by being spectacular on the battlefield. They could be knighted, or they could earn the title through hard work and training if they became an apprentice to a knight. So only rich people were knights because it was very expensive to afford the armor and the horse and the equipment necessary to be a knight. So this was usually reserved for the nobility or sons of rich men. Now, were women ever knights? Sadly, not very often. In fact, hardly ever. But there was, during this research, discovered the Order of the Hatchet. And this was a group of women from Spain who were, their city was besieged by an army, and the normal defenders were off fighting somewhere else. And so they were told that it was best if they just surrendered. Well, the women of the city decided that wasn't what they wanted to do. So they dressed up as men, grabbed whatever weapons they could, which included hatchets, and fought off the besieging army. And so the Count of Catalonia awarded them knighthoods for their lifetime that wasn't passed down to their children. And that was really the only record, the official record of a military order of knights that were women. Some women were knighted because of the property that they owned, and they were the only heir to the property, but they weren't they didn't fight in battles. One of the reasons was armor was very, very heavy. Now, if you look behind us here, I have a picture of a knight's armor, and these are just the basic components. And this does not include chainmail, but a knight's armor could weigh 110 pounds at the highest, anywhere from 30 to 110 pounds. And each leg armor could weigh 17 pounds, and so each leg. So it was very hard to walk. Knights were pretty slow. In fact, they've done modern research. They've put people in armor, they said, and put them on a treadmill. They said the test was very clanky, very loud, and they used twice as much energy to walk as if they did without wearing armor. So it was very hot and heavy, which is why they usually rode horses. But they've decided that there's doing some studies as to whether armor made people lose battles because they had such a hard time moving. So they're doing some research on that. But you have the breastplate, the gorget, which protected the neck, the helmet, which protected the head, the vambrace, which protected the arms, and the greaves protected the lower legs, the pulgan protected the knees. I love this. Sabaton, it protected the feet. The sabaton, we get the word sabotage from that, from sabat, which was a wooden shoe that people would throw into machinery to break the machinery. That's sabotage. But even going further back, sabaton, it protected the foot. So the tasset protected the upper thigh, and then you have the cauter, which protected the elbow. Pauldron protected the shoulders, and we get the word epaulette, which is a part of a shoulder decoration on clothing today. So we have all sorts of words that come from medieval words that were used in armor, but it was very uncomfortable. I often look at these and how did they go to the bathroom? It would be a really hard deal. That's why they had pages and squires. Pages and squires were knights in training. Little boys would leave their families when they were 7 or 8 years old and go live with another knight, and he would run errands and take care of the dirty work, basically. And as he got older, then he would become a squire, and they would train with weapons and learn how to ride horses and without using reins and things. And they were the ones then who would help the knight with their armor. They would clean the armor and help him get dressed and undressed. So, well, you became a knight by being dubbed. This could happen in a ceremony where the night before, the knight in training would pray all night and take a bath and put on clean clothes, which I guess wasn't all that common if it's something special you did to become a knight. Other times they were made knights right on the battlefield after a battle. Another knight could make them a knight, but usually it was somebody who was royal. Now, a few interesting facts. The word knight means servant in Old English, and the word squire comes from, meant shield bearer. Squires would learn about the castle and warfare from the knight that they were being trained by. And knights often fought for the rights to pillage or to steal when they fought, and that's how many of them made their money. But as time went on, a lot of these rich men didn't want to go to war and wear heavy armor and have people hack at you with swords and things. So they would pay what they called a scutage, which was shield money. They would pay the king money so as not to have to fight. And then the king would hire mercenaries to fight his wars or pay for an army. And so many knights toward the end of the medieval period were not fighting. They sat in their castles and paid somebody else to do the fighting for them. Now, there are modern knights today. They don't wear armor and they don't fight battles. Usually they're singers or artists that the kings and queens have made knights as an honor. It's considered an honorary title. So, what we were going to do in person was have you make your own shield, and then we were going to have some bubble jousting and stuff. But what you can do is come to the library by appointment or call for curbside pickup and pick up a packet to make your own shield at home. You'll get 3 different shield patterns on cardstock. There's 3 to choose from here. 1, 2, 3. You can design your own shield. Now, shields and coats of arms were used to identify individuals on the battlefield, because if you look at this, you would not know who that was. That is a pretty good disguise right there. So the knight would carry a shield or have a banner with his coat of arms that would say who he was. So only one person could use the coat of arms at one time. Now, there could be a family coat of arms, but then it would have a color change or some other difference on it to show that it was used. They would have to make a difference, make it different, slightly different to use as a family coat of arms as opposed to an individual coat of arms. So I'm giving you 3 different patterns. You could do a family coat of arms or an individual coat of arms, and then you'll get some paper, sheets of paper that have different symbols of what symbols that would describe you or your family. So there's a bear would be fierce. They have, let's see, all sorts of things. The fox was cleverness. The lion was courage. An eagle was strength. So anyway, there's many different symbols. You can also divide your shield into 4 different parts, and they can mean different things. The colors you use also symbolize something different. Blue means loyalty. Black is constancy or grief. Red is military strength. Green is hope. Purple is royalty. Silver is peace, and gold is generosity. So the colors mean something that you can color your shield, and we also are including a practice shield so that before you do your cardstock, you can practice on one. This is just plain paper. Now, underneath is this little place to put a family motto. Many knights would have mottos for their family: courage, faith, loyalty. And so you can write that there if you want, or sometimes it was a saying for the family that described what they felt was described their family motto. So it can be a saying or a word, whichever you think. So this is your practice sheet. This will remind you what the colors mean. And then, like I said, we have the pictures. Now you can make up your own too. You can do whatever you want. And you'll have that. You'll also get things to decorate your shield. Will include some tin foil. So if you want to glue tin foil on it, make it look metallic, you can do that. If you don't like to draw, you can color these and cut them out and glue them onto your shield, and then just use the colors to describe your qualities. We also are including some bubbles. If you want to do some bubble jousting at home, we're going to use pool noodles, where one person blows the bubbles and the other one tries to bat the bubbles out of the air with a pool noodle. But I can't send pool noodles home with people because we don't have enough. We are just going to play the game here. If you don't have pool noodles at home, you can use paper towel tubes to joust with the bubbles. So one person blows bubbles and the other one tries to knock them out. And we are going to do some calisthenics and try to get fit to wear our armor and practice putting heavy things on to see how heavy the armor was. If you want to try, and I would not recommend that you try to lift something that weighs 110 pounds, but if you want to pick up a stack of books, like I'm going to show you here. So this stack of books here weighs about 8 pounds. So you can imagine carrying 30 pounds around all day long. So you can try, lifting up a gallon of milk is 8 pounds. So if you lift up a full gallon of milk and think about 4 of those would be the lightest suit of armor. And you can kind of imagine how heavy the knights were carrying that. The horses they rode had to be very, very strong because they had to carry the heavy armor and the knight inside it. So those were some strong horses. And the draft horses today, many of them descended from the horses that carried the knights. So we have lots of books on knights here at the library. So if you're interested, you're more than welcome to request those to check out. And we're going to be doing a castle program. We have books on those too, but we'll be doing the castle program later. I hope you all enjoy learning some things about knights. And we also will have a knight name generator, and we have a girl and a boy name generator that will be going home with you, so you can figure out what you pick out my first initial is K, so then my knight name would be Alice, and then my last initial of my last name is B of Alice of Northumberland. And then you pick out your birth date and month of your birth date, or the month you were born in, and that will give you something else. So we have a knight generator name going home with you too. And it's modern times, so we have Girl Knights, and hopefully we get lots of people ordering their packets on the knight program. Thanks, and have a great day.